Hello, welcome back, algebra students. This is Professor Kolk. Welcome to section 4.2, polynomial functions and models. Okay. So first thing, definition: degree, x-intercepts, and turning points. Let me read this for you. Okay, so the graph of a polynomial function of degree n with n at least 1 has at most n x-intercepts and at most n minus 1 turning points. Ooh, kind of confusing. The graph of a polynomial function of degree n with n at least 1 has at most n x-intercepts and at most n minus 1 turning points. Okay, so how do I explain this? I can read definitions, I can, tell you everything the book is doing, but it's gonna be a little confusing, excuse me. So maybe let's take a moment and look at some examples, okay? So I prepared a few examples for you. And example number 1 on this page, so let's actually talk about this. Okay, so question number 1. Figure 4.39 shows the graph of a polynomial function f. Okay, so you have this function over here, which is not a quadratic, it's a polynomial, and that's the goal of this section. Question A: how many turning points and how many x-intercepts are there? Okay, let's start with x-intercepts. What are x-intercepts? X-intercepts are the points where the graph crosses or touches x-axis. So one of them is over here, another one is over here, another one is over here, it's kind of hard to see it, and another one is over here. Okay, so if you can think about this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 x-intercepts. Okay, so how many x-intercepts? 4. How many turning points? What are turning points? Turning points are the points on the graph where the function goes from increasing to decreasing or from decreasing to increasing. Think about quadratic. Okay, quadratic function can either open up, and this is the turning point. Okay, quadratic function can also open up, and this is the turning point. So the turning point, in other words, is almost like vertex. Okay, so in this case we have how many turning points? One is here, one is here, one is here, and one is here. So the answer is we have 4 turning points. Okay, so in this case we have 4 turning points. Question B: is the leading coefficient a positive or negative, and is the degree of the function odd or even? Okay, so think about y equals mx plus b. Do we guys remember, if m is positive, line goes up? If m is negative, line goes down? Now in this case, okay, think about this graph and think about this as you go from left to right. Did you notice from your left the graph goes down, then goes up, then goes down, goes up, goes down, but I don't care about what's happening in the middle. Let's look at the end behavior. What is happening to the graph when you go to your right side? Did you notice that it's kind of decreasing? Therefore, the graph is decreasing, and that means that a is negative. So for part B, a is less than 0. And now, is the degree odd or even? Okay, degree is the highest exponent. Okay, so in this case, the degree the degree is odd or even. If the degree is even, the parabola looks like U-shape. You know, there could be curve in the middle, but it's almost like a U-shape, the end behavior. It could also open down. When the degree is odd, the parabola usually, the graph of the function usually looks like this. In this case, it's not a U-shape because it starts over here and it goes down over here. Therefore, the degree is odd. Okay? And last part to this question, determine the minimum possible degree of f. Okay? If you look at the definition from previous page, okay, it says that you can have at most nx intercept. So since I have 4 turning points, the degree has to be at least 5 because it's always one more. So the degree is at least 5. So in this case, we're gonna have degree at least 5. So it could be, x to the 5th. That's the smallest degree, but it could be x to the 6th. It could be x to the 7th. In a few minutes, you will see this a little bit better. Okay. Let's look at example number 2. Graph this function. Now, the only way to do this at this point of our course is to use a graphing calculator or Desmos. Okay, so if you use a graphing calculator or Desmos, the graph for this problem will look like this. Okay, you can check it with TI-83. You can also use computer. Question A, identify x-intercepts. So x-intercepts, they're here, and they are here. If you use your computer or a graphing calculator, okay, the x-intercepts are -2, 0. That's your first one on the left, this one. The second one will be 1, 0. And the last one over here will be 3, 0. Okay. Part B, approximate the coordinates of any turning points to the nearest hundreds. So the turning points are over here. That's one turning point, and that's a second turning point. And I don't know if you noticed in this case, did you notice I have 3 x-intercepts but 2 turning points? Okay, that's very important. It's always one less. It's I have 3 x-intercepts and 2 turning points. So what are the turning points? If you use a calculator or graphing calculator or Desmos, the 3 turning points are one of them will be -7900, comma 8 2100, and the second one at the bottom will be 2 1200, comma -4.06. I can't squeeze this, so -4.06. Okay, so 4 and 600. Alright, example number 3 I think is most important example because we're going to talk about end behavior of a function, and notation is a little bit tricky here. Okay, so if you look at this function, first thing you should notice that this is not written in standard form. What do I mean by standard form? It means you have to arrange it. The first one has to have the highest degree, the first term. So this has to go first. So f of x will be -2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x plus 2. Okay, so question A, give the degree and the leading coefficient. So question A, what is the degree? Degree is 3 because that's your highest exponent. So in other words, n is 3. What is the leading coefficient? The leading coefficient is the number in front of x to the third, which would be a will be equal to -2. That is pretty easy. Okay. Now, part B is very interesting, and it's new to you, so you probably are confused. What do I mean by state the end behavior of the graph? State the end behavior of the graph. Now, end behavior. What does this mean? What is happening to the function as you go to your right? In other words, when x increases, so when x approaches infinity, this symbol means infinity. When x gets bigger and bigger, what is happening to the function? Okay, so how do we read this? F of x as x approaches infinity. Think about it this way. What is happening to the y value? What is happening to f of x? What is happening to the y value when x gets bigger? Okay, when x approaches infinity. So do we agree if I go to my right, when x gets bigger, because basically the function looks like that, it goes down, 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 down. So when x gets bigger, what is happening to the y value? Is it getting bigger or smaller? Well, the answer is it's getting smaller because you go down. Therefore, the answer is -infinity. So how do we read this? Okay, when x approaches positive infinity, when x gets bigger and bigger, the y value gets smaller. Now, let's look at the other part. What is happening when x gets smaller? So f of x, what's happening to y when x approaches -infinity? In other words, when x gets smaller, smaller, smaller. Think about this graph. What is happening to this graph when x gets smaller? When you go to your left, what is happening to the y value? Is the y value increasing or decreasing? Obviously, it's increasing because the function goes up. Okay, therefore, f of x approaches positive infinity. This may be a little confusing to you, but you may just have to study this and look at the end behavior. Really means what is happening to the graph when x gets bigger, and what is happening to the graph when x gets smaller. Okay, thank you very much.